Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining me for monthly motivation for August 1st. Before we get started, let me share that a portion of today's video is sponsored by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes. There is a topic for everyone, from leadership and life skill classes to brewing the perfect bottle of beer. I started my monthly motivation series in 2019 to help you improve on your life skills and to keep you on track each and every month. Skillshare is the perfect addition to your arsenal of your life. Skillshare offers classes to fit every schedule and every skill level, no matter if you're looking to improve upon an existing skill or you have a burning desire to learn a brand new skill. As mentioned in the last video that I talked about Skillshare, some of my favorite classes currently are in productivity and marketing. In fact, later on today, I'm taking a class on email marketing. I feel like I already have a lot of good traits when it comes to email marketing, but I'm always looking at improving and learning some new things, and taking these classes always help me expand in that area. Skillshare is an affordable way to learn at less than $10 a month with an annual membership. The first 1,000 subscribers to click the link in the description box below this video will get a 2-month free trial of Skillshare's premium membership so that you can hone in on your creativity or expand in certain areas that interest you. So what is the topic for August 1st monthly motivation? Well, it's write your story. What is your story? What do I mean by that? Well, if someone had to describe you to someone else, what would they say? Because that really is what your story is. I recently did a class called Dress for Success, and I hosted it on Zoom. Some of you may have attended, and I talked about personal branding. Now, a lot of people think personal branding is if you're going to be an influencer or if you're doing a business of some sort. But we are all putting out a personal brand. What is going on with the exterior and what is going on in the interior? What would someone say about you? So if someone had to describe you to someone else, let's talk about the exterior. How would they describe you? There's no right or wrong. It's just, what would you like that person to say? Well, that's your story. That's who you want to be. That's how you want to present yourself, because what you're showing up with on the exterior is exactly how someone may describe you. Now, we all have a different filter and lens, and we may have two different people describe someone differently because maybe someone has taste in what you're putting out with the exterior and someone else may not like that. We all do have those opinions, and opinions are formed of us within just a few seconds. But if you want to write your story and you want someone to say something about you that you would be happy to hear, that you feel is a compliment, then that's what you need to put out there, and that's your story. Well, let's talk about the interior. If someone asked your boss to share a little bit about you, well, what would your boss say? He's not going to lie, because that's how you're showing up. That's how you're performing at work. You can't sugarcoat that. You may not like how he would describe you, but that is the perception you're leaving. So what would he say? What would your children say about you? When your children leave the coop, and they will someday, and that's a great place to be, love adult children. If someone were to say to them, tell me about your mom, tell me about your mother or father, how would they describe you? What would they say about you? Would you be proud of what they have to say about you? Or would you think, that's not me at all? when really it is, because you can't lie with how you're showing up. It's something to think about. I recently was thinking about being a grandparent because I really just look forward to being a grandma someday. And I was thinking, what type of grandma do I want to be? Well, I know that I want to be a robust, energetic grandma. I want to be considered that young grandma who takes good care of herself and she's really plugged in and she gets right out there with us and she digs in and just very present, very involved, and can have fun and get dirty with the grandkids. But I realized that in order for that to happen, I have to take good care of myself when it comes to health. So that inspires and motivates me, because if I weren't healthy, how could I show up in my grandchildren's lives that way? Same with their grandpa, my husband. I want him to be that grandpa that gets right outside and gets in there and gets dirty with them and has a lot of fun, but he has to have energy and be in a healthy place to be able to do that. So how I live today and how he lives today will determine how we show up tomorrow. It always does. Because we can't hide behind what we're really doing. We can say things till we're blue in the face, but it will always show up. When one of my grandchildren is in 3rd grade, if he or she had to write a 1-page story about their grandma, about their Gigi, what would they write? Because a 3rd grader isn't going to lie. They aren't going to make up a story. They're going to write a story about their grandma based off of what they know. They're going to write a story based off of how their grandma shows up in their life. So what would you want that to say? Well, whatever you want that to say, that's your story. That's who you need to be in your grandchild's lives, in their eyes. Okay, that tells the story. Same with your children. If someone were to ask my oldest daughter, who is just a few days from turning 27, tell me about your mother growing up, or write a 1-pager about your mother growing up, well, would I want it to say, my mom was always nagging us. She was always screaming at my dad. We couldn't do anything right. The house had to be meticulous. If anything was out of place, my mom was blowing up, or my mom was a screamer, or my mom was always complaining that she was fat, or my mom was always on her phone. Whatever. You can't lie, folks. What you're putting out will always show up. So think about, wow, would I be proud of that? I don't know. I don't have that answer. I can't tell you what your personal brand would be and how you would want someone to see you and what your story is. You have to determine what that is. I just know what I would want my story to be. So I have a responsibility to be that if that's what I would want someone to say. What would your husband say about you? Let's just say a new person comes into the office and works for your husband. He's there a couple months and he asked, so what does your wife do? Tell me about your wife. What's he going to say? He's not going to lie. You may not like it. You may disagree, but that is how you're showing up in his life, in his eyes. Don't get hung up and stuck in the past. That will never serve you. People do it all the time. Take yourself today and say, what do I want my story to be, and all the power I have to create that? How do I want to show up in other people's lives? What do I want other people to say about me, exterior and interior? That's your story, and you have complete control to create that. A lot of people in their level 1, level 2 catabolic energy, they're the victim. The world is happening to me. This is happening to me. I show up this way because of you. Because of you. You did this, so therefore I do this. And how is that serving you and working for you? And is that how you want people to remember you? My mom, everything. No one could do anything right. She was always at the mercy of other people, or she just chose to be who she is no matter what other people do. You have all that power. You really do. If you struggle, with the catabolic energy and maybe that victim mindset, or you're always in conflict and animosity with everyone and nagging and a screamer and all this and that, love to work with you. Let's do an ELI assessment and get on that 2-hour debrief. Catabolic energy leaves us stagnant. Anabolic energy looks for opportunities. I'm not going to get stuck in the past. I'm only going to propel forward. And I have the power to do that. So my challenge for you today is, what is your brand? What's your personal brand? What's your story? Think about it. Think about the people in your life that are the closest to you and what they would say about you, how they would tell a story about you. And if you don't think you're going to like what the story is, you have all the power to change that today, moving forward, August 1st. Yeah. At the end of the year, I'm going to do an integrity report on myself, and I encourage you to do the same. Today's August 1st. We're on the home stretch for 2020. What is your integrity report going to say about you at the end of the year? And I challenge you to prepare for that and going into 2021. Don't wait for the New Year's resolutions, because those never stick. Our integrity report is not what we did the first 2 weeks of January. Okay, cleaning up our act momentarily. Your integrity report is how you're living your life day in, day out. Yes, we get tripped up, but your eye is always on the prize, and you know what your brand is. You know what your interior and exterior is, and you know what you want your story to be, and if you don't like it, you're going to change it today. All right? Well, there you have it. August 1st, monthly motivation. I'll be back. Well, I'll be here. But the next monthly motivation is coming September 1st. I don't know what that one will be, but hopefully this one does some checks and balances for the month of August. I am dressed for golf because the day that I filmed this video, getting ready to go golfing right after this. So what would my husband say about me? Well, he'd probably say, she knew how to dress for a good golf game. She just couldn't execute and deliver in that. That's okay. That's okay. I also think he would say she shows up. Okay. So how are you showing up in your people's, in your loved ones' lives? All right. There you have it. Also, don't forget Skillshare. Remember to click the link in the description box right below this video. The first 1,000 subscribers to take advantage of that link will get a 2-month free trial of Skillshare's premium membership so that you can tap into your creative side with some Skillshare classes. See you soon in the next video.